Hi Sages, welcome to your December 2017 readings. Happy birthday to everybody out there. The final countdown song's playing in my head because Saturn's leaving our sign. Yeah, pretty excited here, people. I feel like for Sages, I'm getting like the image of those of you that know that show Wipeout. It's like an obstacle course of some sort. I'm not sure what that's referring to, if like that's happening now, or maybe it's like this whole Saturn transit has been like an episode of Wipeout, you know, where Sag is just walking along and then poof, one of those fists come out and punch them, they get knocked down in mud, they gotta get back up, you know, or then they're trying to jump over things and something comes out of the blue, you know, or some of you might, it's just, you might feel pretty exhausted. Things are going to be looking up, Sagittarius. Saturn's out of our sign. It's going into Capricorn. This is an exciting time for all of you Sagittarius out there. This means that anybody pretty much that's done wrong is going to get served. It's like society is going to be subpoenaed. People are going to start being subpoenaed because Saturn's going into Capricorn. And Christmas, it is Christmas time. And if you notice, Capricorn season is Christmas, where I associate like Capricorn is like Santa Claus, making its list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. And when Saturn goes back into its sign, it's gonna be like a bunch of the show Gargoyles, or they break out of the brick, you know, or Capricorns are gonna turn into Batman. It might be chaotic for Capricorns too, even though it's their sign. They're gonna be like sent to people to like subpoena them, you know, like, oh, it's gonna be hilarious. So a bunch of cards fell out. I'm just gonna flip them first. Well, we have the Death card. Dun-dun-dun! I'm pretty sure it's like the energy I'm getting from that is like hard times are gonna be over, you guys. All right, it's not completely finished. I am still seeing Wipeout, but I'm seeing, if you guys know the show, I'm seeing the part of Wipeout where they're on, like, there's a bunch of people on the podium, like each on the individual podiums above the water, and that thing swings around and they're jumping over it. like I feel like that's the phase Sagittarius are at right now, you know, where we're almost at the end here. Almost, not quite, you know, like. You have the Four of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Hermit card. It's not the best lighting, you guys. You have the Queen of Swords, the Five of Wands, you got the King of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands, you got the Two of Pentacles, you have Temperance, and then you have the Nine of Swords. I'm smirking because when I looked at the Queen of Swords, I don't feel like the Queen of Swords, it could be somebody. I don't feel like it is, though. I feel like it's you, Sagittarius. And I was smirking because I was seeing, like, Xena. Like, I'm getting this, slashing the knife around, where, like, Sagittarius are just, like, cutting through things left, right, and center, you know, where it's like almost like any obstacles that are put in your way, you don't even care. You're just like, whatever. They're like not going to stop me. It's keeping me going. Like, I'm still moving, you know, like. All right, so I'm going to try to cover your homework and relationships. Relationships come in all forms. Keep that in mind. They come in the form of partnerships, which could be intimate partnerships. It could be work coworkers. It's general reading, so relationships can go with family members. They can also go with your coworkers as well. I am picking up a strong work energy here for some reason. I am feeling like at work, for some reason, there could be somebody around you that is threatened by your presence. So just, you want to tame things down. You want to keep to yourself. You have, in your relationships, you have a lot of wands energy. I'm seeing this image of like Sages, for some Sages, single Sages, I'm seeing this image of like jumping, like where it's almost like you want a relationship but you don't want a relationship. You got a lot of offers where it's like suddenly like you're talking to somebody and it's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, like they're getting a little too clingy. You know what I mean? Like you're just talking to them and you're not like, it's like I'm seeing a jump into like, whoa, am I in a relationship? Or like, what's going on here? And then jumping back out where you're very indecisive is what I'm seeing. You could have a lot of offers even. The cards are saying definitely not to be in two minds about things when it comes to relationships in the romantic sense. You want to be clear and decisive. And I think right now, Sagittarius, for some of you singles, you're very self-focused, okay? And because we're at the end of Saturn, it's like I'm seeing the shrug in the shoulders, like you don't really care. You're not even about a relationship right now, some of you guys. You're just like, whatever. And that is what's making you, that's making you attractive to your opposite sex, or even like whatever you're, if you're interested in females or males. You may even, for some of you singles, I'm seeing like you, like, because you're so self-focused, like you might even be getting like, even if you're, so even if you're straight, you may be getting, like females hitting on you. Like you're going to be quite appealing to the opposite, or to people in general of all forms. So just be aware of that. But the cards are saying for you singles, you want to be decisive. For some of you, you still need to work on yourselves a little bit. That's what it's saying. For those of you in relationships, what it's saying is, so like if you're with a partner, it's referring to like in a romantic sense. Okay, it's saying to not continuously go over the same cycles over and over again. So that means that changes have to happen. It's now not a time to repeat things over or be indecisive. It means putting a stop to what no longer serves you or works for you. Okay, it's taking action too. Some of you guys, this is talking about a trip. It's movement. I feel like with the death card here, I really feel like that's Saturn leaving your sign, and things are going to move forward for you in December. I feel like it's going to be quite action oriented. You might not even be at home a lot. Okay, things are going to start moving very quickly for you. Opportunities are going to be coming left, right, and center. Okay. You do need to take action in your relationship. So this means you need to be the leader. So that means like with your family members, even with coworkers. With coworkers, it's like just avoiding. I feel like with coworkers, there's like competition happening. Okay, and a lot of people say the Five of Swords is the one-upmanship card, or the like somebody wins a fight type card. Like I see the Five of Wands as aggressive, so it's like with the Five of Swords, people say it's underhanded tactics. I don't see that. I see that with the Five of Wands, because with the Wands, it's like action being taken. With the Swords, that's mentally, that's just being thought about, all right? And with the Five of Swords, it's done in public. Everybody sees it happening. With the Five of Wands, it's like damage can be done because it's physical, all right? Wands is action, all right? So it's physical, like somebody can get hurt with the Five of Wands because it is action. With the Five of Swords, if you look in that card, nobody's hurt in that card, all right? Like all the knives were taken down and one guy has that knife, and that's because that one guy was preventing people from hurting themselves. There's no blood drawn or anything, like with the Five of Wands, because it's physical, and especially in this deck too, you can see it. All right, like people are going to get hurt. All right, consider things before you take action. You need to stop thinking about the past. So this means like people from the past that come back, you don't want to relive that cycle out with them. Okay, and you don't want to repeat the same cycles with you can't do things the same way, is what I'm getting in relationships. So this means like even with siblings, coworkers, the way you used to do things, you can't do it the same way. Things aren't going to be the same. If you're in a new environment, you can't treat the new environment like the old environment, is what it's saying. So when Saturn goes into Capricorn, it's like your relationship is transformed. Okay, like this is the phoenix rising from the ashes. Scorpio is the phoenix rising from the ashes. That means it's a whole new like rebirth cycle. So you can't do things the way you did before. Things aren't going to be the way they were before. You're a different person now, and you got to stand firm in that belief that things are going to be different. Because if you think about things being the same as they were before, or you do things like argue or fight, or things are going to be hard for you, you're going to attract that same thing. All right, so you just want to have a positive outlook. What we got coming in at work, we got a lot of hard work happening at work. It's definitely if there's any issues happening at work, it's because people are working against each other. I am getting that. So just keep to yourselves and focus on your work, do your job. You don't want to, you want to let things play out. Okay. This means don't fight things, just let them happen and then proceed forward. Because what I've seen with the Queen of Swords, it's like proceeding forward. All right, she just slashes through things. All right, so that means like like I'm seeing Xena, when something's throwing, just slashes through it, and it just the obstacle falls right in front of her. Like for men too, same thing, right? So just let things play out. You do have it could be an air sign or somebody who comes off. This person's odd, is what I'm getting. So you'll know by the energy that you feel when you're around them at work. They're odd. Trust that instinct. This person is watching you, and they could try to cause you problems. You just want to play it off You don't want to get involved in it. And what I'm seeing is what's going to happen is because you're not going to play into their hand, they're going to end up shooting themselves in the foot. Usually what happens is when you avoid, it's like almost like when a narcissist entices you, okay, narcissists gaslight you, that's their objective, all right? You give them that reaction, you give them what they want, and then usually with a narcissist, you end up being the one that looks bad, and people perceive you as the one that was the problem and not the narcissist. But what happens is when you become aware of your environment, so when you're dealing with a narcissist, this is an example. In that situation, the narcissist ends up gaslighting themselves because you don't react to them. They get more aggressive and they keep trying to do things to gaslight you, and then they become extremely obvious, and it will be publicly seen. I am getting publicly seen, and the person will end up hurting themselves. So if at work you're having an issue with somebody, you just want to smile and nod and be your fabulous Sagittarius self. Don't even acknowledge it. Don't even feed into it. Tell a joke afterwards or something like that. Or this person's going to shoot themselves in the foot. It is what I'm seeing, though. If you are having problems in relationships as a general, so this means like with acquaintances even, okay, it would be due to aggressive behavior. And it's asking you to come from a more emotional standpoint. I do feel like at work, if you're having problems, you do have two people around you that are quite supportive, and they see everything. These are older people. One is an older gentleman. He's analytical, very factual. He's quite compassionate and understanding is what I'm getting. You do have travel with your work, associated with your work, and what you need to do at work is you need to be emotionally supportive towards others and understanding. All right, so that means like taking any negatives and turning it into a positive. If things are brought up at work, if you're dealing with somebody who's annoying and they're trying to like give you a problem, do your Sag thing and flip it around and turn it to a positive. That's going to annoy the crap out of them. That's not your problem. The Sagittarius hate problems. We have solutions, right? Your solutions are going to be heard. You have wisdom here. You need to trust in your instincts, you guys. You got to... You do have to pay attention to facts at work. I'm getting that. And okay, and not being afraid if you don't understand something to ask or to get it confirmed. If you're doing your own thing, you need to put some more backing into it, which means like more knowledge and wisdom to improve it somehow. So that would mean with the Hermit here, that is going to like, you need to follow your intuition, first of all. Don't, at work, don't sway from your intuition. If you feel off about somebody, trust in that. Don't be naive either. But I am getting like, if you're doing your own thing, you do need, there's different ways you can do it. First of all, you might be set on one way of doing it because you have a fixed vision is what I'm seeing, and you need to be very mutable with it, which means I'm also getting that you need to learn things before you pass it off to somebody. so you can ensure that they're doing it properly. All right. If you're building your own business, if you can't, like, if you're not you're not going to be an expert in everything, you know what I mean? But you still want to have a general understanding of it, you know, like, so that way your intuition will kick in when you know something's off, because you have a general understanding of that specific thing. I'm not sure what it's referring to. Some of you guys have, like, there's a vacation here. There's also movement, like traveling a lot of distance, long hours. I'm also getting hard work. And what I'm getting, like, what not to do at work is to sacrifice. If you're sacrificing too much of yourself, then you really got to prioritize. Priorities are coming through here. You need to be more scheduled and organized. So this means, like, okay, you need to make things work for you. You only have a specific amount of time. Okay, so this means, like, you got to make things. You got to use it wisely now. You're gonna have to be more methodical, Sagittarius. So this means, like, packing your lunch the night before you go to work, so that saves you time in the morning. You can get more rest in the morning too, you know, like, you can sleep in a little later because you have things done the night before. I was raised by an Aries, so they're pretty structured. Generally speaking, when I was a kid, the lunches were, like, my mom always, you know, when we got older, we made them the night before. Our clothes were set out the night before. So everything was ready. Like, Aries are like soldiers, all right? Like, they're very military oriented. Like, they drill like habits into you, so you want to ensure that you're taking action in drilling, like, breaking the old patterns, which is like the death card there, the old way of doing things, and establishing a new healthy pattern of behavior, new habits. So this means, like, being more organized, being more focused on details. You definitely need to focus on details here. There's things that you need to learn before you hand them off to other people. I'm also seeing that. I'm also seeing you can't be afraid to communicate here. What you see, you do have to discuss in an emotional manner with family members. I feel like that's coming through with your family. And you do have to take action on what you want too. Things aren't just going to happen. You got to make it happen. You want to focus on 24 hours here. What can you do in 24 hours that gets you one step closer to your goal? If you're getting anxiety about the future, just focus on the present. All right. And you want to focus on just one thing you can do to get you one step closer. Baby steps. All right. If you start thinking about things, like, some of you could have anxiety because there's just so much going on, just focus at one thing at a time, the present. You want to stay present. What we got going on at home is, I feel like some of you guys are going to be away from home a lot longer. You're really working on the foundation with family too. You do need to be direct with people, in the sense of not in a hurtful manner. You do want to come from wisdom and compassion, definitely compassion. You want to reflect before you respond, and you do want to speak truth, all right? Because you want to break the old patterns here, all right? So this means, like, calling somebody out on their BS or their bad behavior if they have it, or if somebody's putting too much on you, speaking up about it. If you need help in the household, you need to speak up about that, all right? Like, if you want, this means, like, okay, again, if you have kids, this means, like, okay, some of them might be at the age where they can start helping out around the house now, all right? Like, giving them chores. This means, like, putting a schedule on the fridge. One kid does this one day, the kid does this, they have chores that they have to do, you know, like, establishing healthy boundaries here and healthy habits, all right? And it takes time to break those habits, all right? Holding yourself accountable is coming through here as well. Being direct and not afraid to be who you truly are. Speak your truth, Sag. Okay, like, but before you speak your truth, you want to reflect before you respond, all right? And you want to try to see where the other person's coming from before you respond, so you word it properly. Because the Queen of Swords is a protector, all right? And Jupiter, the actual planet Jupiter, it does protect Earth from a lot of floating debris out in space, you know, like asteroids and stuff like that. Jupiter sucks it into its orbit and it pretty much demolishes it. Jupiter is the big brother in the schoolyard. You know what I mean? So the Queen of Swords is a protector, all right? And the truth may hurt, but it cuts through the bowl and it breaks the pattern. So in your family, you really need to put work into. I feel like, okay, because she's also she's like the businesswoman. The Queen of Swords I see her as like more businesswoman because she's mentally capable of handling business. She's intelligent, right? And she knows things like before other people. She can put 2 and 2 together pretty fast. She makes an excellent FBI, human behavior analyst, psychologists, you know, lawyers, military even. They are military oriented. Uniforms, they wear uniforms generally speaking. And it depends on the energy. If it's an Aquarius, Aquarians, you know, they tend to be more, even Libras, they're more creative. So they could be like poets, artists, bakers even. They wear uniforms. They fix bridges, things like that. They wear uniforms, you know, like, doesn't necessarily have to be like a lawyer or something like that. They're usually in some sort of uniform. They could even work in like as a mechanic, you know, they have a uniform though. So this person would wear a uniform. They could, you know, as something as simple as a baker, a scientist even. They wear uniforms. You do have a science energy here, so it's being logical, fact-oriented. You got to be like that at home, and you got to really see things for what they are to make the changes. And what you need to do is you need to be I don't want to say nostalgic, but you need to come from more of a, with your family members, a playful side is what I'm getting with your family members. It's a playful side. So it's making things fun. So like if you have children and stuff like that, or it's like a reward system, you're making things fun. Even it's like game night when your family gets together. So over the holidays, like pulling out Monopoly, that's a pretty long game. Like Connect Four, Guess Who, you know, like it doesn't matter how old you are. It's like I'm getting like a playful energy coming through. So like even like I'm getting baking gingerbread cookies and the family decorates them. It's funny because I usually do that. And my sister and my mom, they make some pretty creative gingerbread men. They're quite entertaining. Or it's like you don't have to be practical about things. You can make things fun. You know what I mean? Like, and saying what not to do at home or with family is worry. Okay, it's not to think about things too much. Okay, so it's like taking action on what's best for you is best for everybody. So if you need to go back to school, you need to educate yourself. If the family's getting upset because you're working longer hours or you're making changes and you're working on yourself, I am seeing that it is going to benefit them in the long run. So it may, what I am getting, it may cause a little bit of backlash with some people. You might get backlash, but that's okay because you're changing. So like it's separating It's taking away what no longer works for you. So the people that no longer benefited you in your life, or the things that no longer benefited you, okay, it took those things away. But it's also, okay, you're going to get backlash because people aren't comfortable with change. All right, you're Sag, you just went through the Saturn process. You're being reborn. All right, so you're a different person. That means people around you have to adapt, and you have to be patient with them. They need time to, because you may inspire them, or you're definitely going to get things off balance for other people, and it's going to be uncomfortable for them, but it's because they're seeing some like positive changes in you, and now they have to like level up. I'm getting this like you have like, you may have some people that are quite, I am seeing, impressed with you, or taken back with like how it's coming through as changes that you've made, and it's making them think about things and a new way of doing things, and it's going to get them going. I'm also getting this energy of, okay, like when you want to do something, a buddy system. Okay, so it could be with like family members, taking them out and doing things that you wanted to try, or even like an exercise partner. You could do it with your father, your sister. Okay, so it's like, if you say are younger, or you could send, or you have kids that are the age of driving, you send them both to driving school at the same time, so they're in the same, you're learning. It's doing things with somebody for fun, going to a cooking class together, even with a friend, a sister, a brother, a mother. It's having fun, though. There's a playful energy that needs to come out. You definitely don't want to be indecisive, okay? You don't want to worry about things. Things are going to play out and work out the way they're supposed to, right? So that means that if you've left a job and you went to a new job, or you're going to change jobs, you intuitively know, like you're on your path here. Things are naturally going to work out. It's not to worry about. Like, definitely don't worry about. I'm getting like the sacrifices you've made, or the way things have gone in the past have played out. Definitely don't worry about all of that stuff, because you're going to see the rewards for it in the future. You just need to be decisive on what you want to do. You want to take action on it. Okay, again, you want to see the future, but you want to come back to the present. So this means that you want to have your goal, have your objective, come back to the present, focus on 24 hours. What can I do within this 24 hours that gets me one step closer to my goal? Okay, so some of you, I am seeing you need knowledge and wisdom for something that you want to do. Okay, so this means like, it's almost like, okay, if you communicated with people, or you had a sales job, okay, then you probably would want to, because what I'm seeing is you need other factors here. You would probably want to study other avenues. So like marketing and consumer behavior, all right, because then you understand sales a lot better. Psychology even, right, because you understand how the human mind works. Rules and regulations are also coming through here for some reason. Definitely focus on 24 hours, though. I'm seeing counseling courses. Some Sages could be good counselors or something like that. So like, it's even like if you were in childcare, like you would want to study something like, because I'm seeing other areas, you would want to study something like social services to understand, well, maybe not social services, but like maybe because it would help you understand like what some children would be going through. You would see it through a different set of eyes. There's something here about you need to see things through a different set of eyes. And you don't need to necessarily understand it all, but you do need to understand the basic of it. And it's so that you can recognize when there's an error going to occur before it occurs, because that's what the Queen of Swords does. Okay, she sees things. She's usually like, she can see things play out before they happen. She's like 5-6 steps ahead of people. That's why they make good lawyers, good psychologists. They see things that are unseen, and they can predict people pretty good. There's something about you need to see things from a different avenue. If you're going to open up a business, you want to know a little bit about sales. You want to know a little bit about marketing. You want to know a little bit about psychology even. You want to know a little bit about human resources. You definitely need, at work, you want to take things with a grain of salt, and you need facts. All right, so that means things coming at you, use your knowledge and wisdom, and if it's not factual, then there's no need to acknowledge it. All right, Sagittarius, happy birthday to y'all. Hopefully it's a great month. Happy holidays to all of you that celebrate the holidays out there, whatever holiday it is. I think, I'm not sure if Hanukkah is around this time of year as well. Don't move too quickly though. Ensure that you're really, don't react to people around you, okay? Just stay self-focused and do focus on 24 hours, all right? Focus on what you're doing, not what other people are doing. That's coming strongly through here. Think before you react, okay? All right, you guys, hopefully that helped you out, and namaste. Ciao for now.